Hello guys, this is Adib. Welcome to my channel Movement Science, where I simplify biomechanics with Joe. So if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. Also check me out on Instagram, where I post pictures of my notes, and the reference time for all the topics that I am going to cover will be mentioned down in the description, so check that out and let's get started. In this video, we are going to talk about the finger flexor mechanism. Last video was about the extrinsic finger flexor, right? Where we spoke about the two tendons, the superficialis and the profundus, right? Flexor digitorum superficialis and profundus. So now this video will be about how there are other stabilizing structures that are present in the hand, and they work together with these tendons to bring about a good flexion movement in your fingers and overall in your hand and the wrist, right? So let's start with the topic. First, the stabilizing structures I will mention. There is the flexor retinaculum, digital tendon sheath, and radial and ulnar bursa. Apart from this, there is also something called as pulleys. You can see these bands right over here. These pulleys also help you in stabilizing the full tendon structure and bring about a flexion movement. We are going to talk about the pulley in the next video because this video will become too long if we include that. So this video we will be focusing on flexor retinaculum and the tendon sheath and the bursa, right? So let's start with the topic. First, the flexor retinaculum. What this does is it keeps all the tendons closer to your hand and it prevents any bowstringing, or it also, you can say, helps in better excursion or movement of the tendon, which will improve the efficiency of the tendon. So this is your hand and this is the tendon attached distally, right? Now the tendon passes like this, and when the tendon pulls your finger, you can see how the movement is happening, right? And the tendon goes away from the finger. Now you need something to hold the tendon in place, right? So that's where the flexor retinaculum comes, and also the pulleys over here, you can see, which we will be talking in the next video, they come into place, and when you pull now, what happens? So the movement becomes much more efficient. This is the role of your flexor retinaculum. Another point about the flexor retinaculum is the tendons are anchored to the hand without interference of the friction. Now you might think when the tendons are passing and flexor retinaculum is over here holding, when the tendon is moving, it might cause friction, right? But this friction is eliminated with the help of your radial and ulnar bursa and the digital tendon sheath. Now, the radial and ulnar bursa, you can see this blue color thing over here, right? So what happens in our body is these tendons are covered by a sheath, okay? And this sheath has synovial membrane and synovial fluid inside it, so that the tendons can glide easily within this sheath. So this sheath is there, and on top of this, the retinaculum is present, so that there is no friction between the retinaculum and the tendons. So this is why we have these bursas, the radial and ulnar bursa. It envelops the flexor tendon at the wrist and at the palm. So over here you can see this region, and it envelops all the 8 tendons. Which are the 8 tendons? Superficialis and profundus of 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 into 2, 8 are covered by ulnar bursa. And on the radial side, we have the flexor pollicis longus, right? That tendon is covered by your radial bursa. Now, it has the synovial fluid, which will reduce the friction. And what is seen is the ulnar bursa continues with the DTS, that is digital tendon sheath of the little finger, in 30% of the 60 specimens that were tested or that were checked. So as you can see over here, this is the little finger, and the digital tendon sheath of the little finger is connected to the bursa, whereas the other 3 have their own separate digital tendon sheath which are not connected to your ulnar bursa. The ulnar bursa ends at the proximal palmar arch, but only at the little finger it will connect, whereas the radial bursa, it will go through and through, right? It will continue with the digital tendon sheath. So basically your little finger and your thumb both have a continuous bursa, whereas the middle 3 fingers, they have separate digital tendon sheaths. Now, why are we learning about where they start, where they end, and what is continuous and what is not continuous? This is relevant due to infection that can be caused in this sheath. This can lead to painful tenosynovitis, that is the membrane inside and the fluid inside that when infected can give you a lot of pain and affect your tendons inside, right? So in this condition the symptoms will be seen according to the distribution of these bursas. So when this bursa is affected, you will have pain in a similar area like this, whereas if radial bursa is affected, you will see the symptoms in this area, right? So that's why it's very important to know where they start and where they finish, so that can help us in suspecting a differential diagnosis. Next, going on to the digital tendon sheath. Now these are the digital tendon sheaths of the index finger, middle finger and the ring finger. It starts from proximal A1 pulley, that is over here you can see this big one, right? That is the A1 pulley. We will talk about these pulleys and name them properly in the next video. And you go A1, A2, A3, A4 and A5. Distal to the A5 pulley it ends. So that's its boundary, and it helps to prevent again the friction because it works similar to like bursa. It is covering your whole tendon so that the tendon does not have friction against all these pulleys. It moves smoothly inside the synovial membrane, correct? So it helps to prevent friction between the tendons, that is the profundus and superficialis, both are very close, so they should not also rub, right? So it prevents friction between the tendons and between your tendon and the annular and the cruciate pulleys that I just mentioned. It also helps the tendons provide nutrition because the synovial fluid, right? Apart from the venicular tendinum, which are like basically folds of synovial membrane that carry blood vessels and supply the tendon body and help them in nutrition, apart from your digital tendon sheath, which also provide the nutrition. So that's all we have for this video. We talked about the stabilizing structures which help in movement of your tendons, right? Finger flexor mechanism, it helps in that. We spoke about the three main stabilizing structures: flexor retinaculum over here, which holds the tendons together. Then the digital tendon sheath, which is present over here, which reduces the friction in your fingers. And then the bursa, which reduces the friction between the tendons in your hand palm region. So with that, we finish off this topic. That's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. It will really help me out. And thank you for watching.